From the cold streets to hope. The story of Jack and his encounter with Donald Trump. Winter was merciless in Washington, D.C., with a biting cold sweeping through the city and the streets covered in a thin layer of snow. Among the many homeless people struggling to survive, there was an elderly man with a graying beard and weary eyes. His name was Jack Thompson. Jack wasn't just another homeless man. He was a veteran, a forgotten hero of society. He had served with honor in the United States Armed Forces, facing the worst of war in missions across the Middle East. His life had been one of bravery, sacrifice, and camaraderie. But when he returned home, life wasn't kind to him. Like many veterans, he battled post-traumatic stress disorder and the harsh reality of limited opportunities. With no family, no job, and no hope, he ended up living on the streets, unseen and unheard. On that freezing night, Jack curled up under a thin blanket on a park bench near the White House, trying to ignore the pain of the cold. Clutched tightly in his hand was a medal, his only reminder of a time when he was respected and valued. Then, a presidential motorcade slowly passed by. Inside one of the black SUVs, Donald Trump looked out the window, scanning the scenery. His eyes landed on the lonely man shivering in the cold. Something about the scene made him gesture to the driver to stop. Against the recommendations of his security team, Trump stepped out of the vehicle and walked toward Jack. "What are you doing out here in this cold?" the president asked, removing his leather gloves. Jack looked up, stunned. He couldn't believe his eyes. The most powerful man in the country was speaking to him. For a moment, he was speechless, but then, with a shaky voice, he replied, "Just trying to survive, sir." Trump crouched down and looked directly into his eyes. "What's your name?" "Jack Thompson, a Marine Corps veteran. I served for over 20 years." The president remained silent for a moment before asking, "How did you end up here?" Jack sighed. He hesitated to tell his story, but something about Trump's demeanor made him feel that for the first time in years, someone genuinely wanted to listen. He spoke of his past, his years of service, the battles he fought, the comrades he lost, and how, upon returning home, the system had abandoned him. Trump listened attentively, without interruption. When Jack finished, the president placed a firm hand on his shoulder and said, "This isn't right. You served this country, risked your life, and you shouldn't be out here." Without hesitation, Trump called his aides and ordered immediate help for Jack. That very night, Jack was taken to a 5-star hotel, where he had a hot shower, clean clothes, and his first decent meal in years. But Trump didn't stop there. Looking at Jack's long beard and unkempt hair, he picked up the phone and said, "I want a barber here right now, and I want him to be treated like a real hero." Within minutes, a well-known barber from the city arrived at the hotel. He gave Jack a fresh haircut, trimmed his beard, and made him feel renewed. When Jack looked at himself in the mirror, he barely recognized his own face. He hadn't seen himself clean-shaven in years. For the first time in a long while, he felt like more than just a homeless man. He was someone with worth, with dignity. The transformation was complete. The next day, Trump mobilized resources to ensure Jack received medical treatment, financial assistance, and a new home. But Trump wanted to do something even bigger. Inspired by Jack's story, he decided that no veteran should ever suffer the same fate. With government support, a special rehabilitation program was created to help homeless veterans. As part of this initiative, Jack was invited to lead a new institution, United Veterans, a center dedicated to sheltering and rehabilitating ex-military personnel in need of support. Jack, now a changed man, proudly accepted the mission. He knew better than anyone the struggles that veterans faced. With dedication, he took charge of the center, ensuring that every forgotten soldier received medical care, housing, and job opportunities. Sometime later, Jack was invited to an official event at the White House, where Donald Trump introduced him as a symbol of resilience and a reminder that America should never forget its heroes. As he stepped onto the stage, Jack looked at the president, his eyes filled with emotion, and said, "Sir, just a few months ago, I was freezing on the streets, hopeless. Today, I stand here because someone decided I still mattered. And I promise that we will never again let another veteran be forgotten." The crowd erupted in applause. That day, Jack Thompson wasn't just a veteran who had been rescued. He was proof that with compassion and action, even the saddest stories can have a new beginning. Final reflections. How many heroes are forgotten every day? How many people have given everything for their country, only to become invisible to society? Jack Thompson represents thousands of veterans struggling to survive. Men and women who need just one chance to rebuild their lives. This story teaches us that small gestures can change lives. Trump's keen eye on that freezing night made all the difference in Jack's journey. But do we need to be presidents to help someone? Maybe a simple act of kindness, listening, supporting, or providing opportunities can be the difference between despair and hope. True heroes shouldn't only be remembered in parades or on Memorial Days. They need ongoing support, dignity, and respect. Those who once protected the nation deserve for the nation to protect them in return. The question remains, what are we doing for our forgotten heroes? Now it's your turn. If this story touched you in any way, don't let it end here. Subscribe to the channel for more inspiring stories. Leave a comment below. What do you think about this story of resilience? Do you know someone who has gone through something similar? Share this video with your friends and family. Who knows? This message might inspire more people to make a difference. Together, we can create a world where no one who once gave their life for others is ever forgotten.